that easy. Everybody be doing it. When you get in that ring, it's the loneliest place in the world. Nobody can help you. Once you beat your opponent mentally, then you can start beating him physically. As soon as you beat him mentally, you've won the fight. So if you're not rocked, you're down and you're probably out. I truly believe in my heart that boxing is an art. Yeah, I'll make it look like an art.
Exhilarating, hard-hitting, unbeatable. HBO Sports. And now the HBO Sports presentation, World Championship Boxing.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Joe Louis Arena in downtown Detroit, home of Motown Records. Put your hands together and get ready, because here he comes, making his Motor City debut, Prince Naseem Hamed.
Hello.
Leaping right hand by the Prince. And the hard left. And Kelly's down for the third time.
He's for real. The Prince is for real.
Punching power.
Prince.
This may be the end of Western civilization as we know it.
Tonight's headline act, featherweight champ Naseem Hamed continues his climb to the top of the boxing charts against tough Mexican champion Cesar Soto. The warm-up act features rising star junior featherweight champ Eric Morales against Wayne McCullough. Get ready, because here they come.
Yeah, I'm the Prince, and you know I'm ready.
From the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, Michigan, HBO Sports presents World Championship Boxing, where tonight 3 present titleists and 1 former title holder take center stage with 3 championship belts at stake. First, undefeated junior featherweight champion Eric Morales takes on former bantamweight crown holder Wayne McCullough. And then in our main event, Prince Naseem Hamed and Cesar Soto put their separate featherweight titles on the line in a partial unification matchup. Both fights are scheduled for 12 rounds. On a crystal clear, perfect day in Detroit, a larger than expected crowd fills into Joe Louis Arena to see the traveling show of Prince Naseem Hamed, as the Prince makes his 4th appearance since his dramatic debut on HBO in December of 1997. Has the luster worn off for boxing's most aggressive showman, or can he once again attract the glamour that only goes with knockout performances, the kinds which have typified his career? Hello again, everybody. I'm Jim Lampley. We welcome you to this significant edition of HBO's World Championship Boxing. Significant for a variety of reasons. A, because we're here in Detroit, and more on that in just a moment. B, because later this evening, Prince Naseem Hamed again brings his high-wire act and his aggressive theatricality to HBO Sports. this time facing in Cesar Soto, a man many regard as one of the toughest opponents of his career. See, because before you see Naseem, you're going to see one of the many fighters who hopes for a shot at him and at the kind of money that goes with fighting him. 122-pound king Erik Morales rapidly gaining acclaim as one of the best young fighters in the sport. And D, because later on this evening, we'll talk live to both Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield to start getting you ready for their heavyweight championship unification rematch November 13 in Las Vegas. But first, the business of this evening, and let's turn to HBO's World Championship boxing expert, two-time heavyweight champion George Foreman, a man with a keen appreciation for the history of this sport. And George, we're here in Detroit. We're excited about it. Tell us why.
Produced the great Joe Louis, the most outstanding right-hand puncher ever in the sport of boxing, combination two. And then it's ironic that we would come here to see the matchup between Cesar Soto
and Prince
Naseem, because you got two punchers. Possibly anything can happen tonight. Boy, the great fighters, the hitting man Hearn, there's going to be some hitting here, and it rightfully belongs in Detroit.
Yeah, that's right. What a long lineup of great fighters have come from Detroit. Joe Louis, Sugar Ray Robinson was born here as Walker Smith, later Thomas Hearns, and all the other great products of the Kronk Gymnasium. So for that reason, Larry Merchant, we're excited to be here, and we're a little bit startled that with no American fighters in either of the two events we're showing here on HBO, there has nevertheless been a big advance ticket sale, and we expect the Joe Louis Arena to be more than two-thirds full to see Naz against Soto and the Mexican Morales against the Irishman Wayne McCullough. What in the world is going on here?
It's called globalization, Jim. We sell the world our De La Hoyas and Joneses electronically. The world sells us back the Moraleses and the Princesses. That's the way trade works in this sport. And beyond that, what we're looking at here is that all of the fighters I just named have their own websites to market themselves internationally. And Hamed himself looks like, and often fights like, a computer game, a kind of animated cartoon. But there is no truth to the rumor, Jim, that the ring card girls tonight will be belly dancers.
No, you've been pushing for that one with no luck so far. Maybe later on down the road, Larry. Meanwhile, we come back to the subject of Detroit. Both New York and Philadelphia have bigger reputations as fighters' hotbeds. But neither New York nor Philadelphia ever produced a heavyweight like Joe Louis, a welterweight and a middleweight like Sugar Ray Robinson. For more on the Motor City's boxing tradition, here it is. If you're familiar with Detroit, it's almost certainly because of the automobile industry. Or perhaps you're a fan of Motown music. Or maybe you followed boxing. This is where Joe Louis was born and raised. This is where Sugar Ray Robinson lost for the very first time to Jake LaMotta. Detroit is also home to the world-famous Kronk Gym. This is a real fight town.
During the 30s, there was no work at that time. It was during the Depression, and people started boxing, and it's caught on from there.
Boxing was one of the few sports that blacks, was really the only sport that blacks could really excel in and make big money. Back in the 30s and 40s and even the 50s, the only hero that had made big money to the black people in Detroit was Joe Louis.
If you walk downtown, you'll see right near the Joe Louis Arena, there's a big fist hanging down the middle of the boulevard. And it's supposed to be Joe Louis's fist. That symbolizes Detroit.
Emerging from the trying times of the Depression, Joe Louis, boxing out of Detroit's Brewster Gym, became a national hero. He held the heavyweight title for more than 13 years. Respected by black and white Americans, Louis almost single-handedly crafted an enduring reputation for Detroit boxing.
The only official world champion that represented Detroit in history up until 1980 was Joe Louis. And then with my Kronk boxing team, kids all becoming professional boxers in 1977, many of them, we started a whole new era.
The Detroit fighters, you find most of them were Kronk guys, all trained by Emanuel Stewart. Emanuel really came out of a place called Brewster Center, which was where Joe Louis came from. But Emanuel's basically an old Brewster Center guy.
Decades later, under the direction of Emanuel Stewart, an amateur program from a small basement gym in the Kronk Recreation Center grew into a boxing cathedral. At one point or another, home to Thomas Hearns, Aaron Pryor, Michael Moore, and countless others,
Kronk defined its pugilistic lessons in pain and fame. This is where real fighters came from.
You have to be tough mentally and physically to survive there. And only the strong survive down there.
You step in that gym, you wonder, what the hell were they doing here? The room is not much, and the heat is oppressive. And it's like jungle heat. It's the way Manuel describes it. Says nothing ever came of a fighter who couldn't take the heat.
For a quarter century, the flavor and mystique of the Kronk Gym has remained the same. In fact, the largest of local legends, Thomas Hearns, still trains there. And although the once mighty Kronk has ceased being a world champion assembly line, it's still Kronk.
When boxers go to that gym, put on the colors of the Kronk, they feel they're being a part of history, and it makes them feel a little special.
Oh, we got a Detroit star.
Tonight, big-time boxing reunites with an old friend, the city of Detroit, as Naseem Hamed takes on fellow featherweight champion Cesar Soto. Not since the peak glory days of Thomas Hearns has the Motor City seen a fight card like this one.
The people kind of are desperate to have boxing back in Detroit, and I think this will kind of kickstart boxing, big-time boxing back in Detroit.
Adding to the appeal of this fight for Detroit is a local Arab population of over 275,000, ready and waiting to cheer for their man, featherweight champion Prince Naseem Hamed of Yemeni descent.
I'm talking about the biggest Arab population in the whole of the United States, and I can't wait. It's going to be like boxing in front of my own brothers and sisters.
He's an Arab hero, you know, they see him as one of their brothers and everything else, and so everybody's so excited about it that it's happening in Detroit.
Boxing returns to the Motor City. From Joe Louis through Tommy Hearns to Naseem Hamed, a rich tradition enters a new era.
We bring you back live to the Joe Louis Arena, and there is Thomas Hitman Hearns, the Motor City Cobra, one of many of the leading Detroit boxing lights on hand for this big night in Motor City fisticuffs. And now we get ready for our first main event of the evening. The battle at 122 pounds between Eric Morales and Wayne McCullough. And you see the 6-year age advantage for young Morales from Tijuana, Mexico. He's also 1 inch taller than the Pocket Rocket. They both weighed in at 122 pounds. They both arrived this evening weighing 128. And there's a 6-inch reach advantage for the right-hand punching Morales. Punch stat numbers, Larry.
Here's a look at a profile of how active these fighters were against Daniel Zaragoza, the former champion. And you can see that McCullough throws almost twice as many punches as the sharpshooting Morales. McCullough uses a volume of punches as the best defense is an active offense. Same thing holds true with the jabs. McCullough's jab is a range finder, just something else to keep the opponent busy.
Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
Something a little unusual I want to point out in the opening bout tonight, Jim. The champion, Eric El Terrible Morales, requested a Japanese brand boxing glove called the Winning brand boxing glove. Morales prefers the grip and the power of this 8-ounce glove as opposed to the Reyes glove Hamed and Soto will wear in the main event. Jim.
And here's a look at Wayne McCullough entering to the music of U2, and at least in the 122-pound weight class, he hasn't yet found what he's looking for. He did win a world title down at 118.
McCullough is a graduate of the '88 Olympic class that produced Roy Jones, Riddick Bowe, Lennox Lewis, Michael Carbajal, and others.
Wayne McCullough's record, 23 wins, 2 losses, 14 KOs, not a power puncher, as Larry pointed out during the punch stat numbers. He wants to overwhelm his opponents with activity. One of the big incentives for Eric Morales tonight, that tried to show the world he can do to McCullough what Prince Naseem Hamed could not do a year ago. Last Halloween, Hamed faced McCullough in Atlantic City, and Hamed's long string of knockouts was broken as that bout went the distance. The obvious task for Morales here tonight, as he tries to attract the attention of boxing fans and earn the right to meet Hamed, is to knock McCullough out something he's done to 28 of his 34 vanquished opponents and every one of the opponents he's faced since winning a 122-pound world championship. While you're watching this upcoming bout, you can also log on to www.hbo.com/boxing to chat and score each round of tonight's action. While you're logged on to our website, feel free to voice your opinion on our poll question for the evening. Does it matter to you? Does it affect your view of Prince Naseem Hamed that he does not hold one of the 3 most recognized championship belts, but rather sports and off-brand and has for years? Respond yes or no, and we'll provide you with the results later on in this telecast. Now let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the Joe Louis Arena here in the Motor City, Detroit, Michigan, where tonight Cedric Kushner Promotions and Prince Promotions Incorporated, along with your undisputed, undefeated king of beers, Budweiser, proud to be your bud, present a World Championship Boxing doubleheader. The first bout in association with Top Rank Incorporated and America Presents, sanctioned by the State of Michigan Boxing Commission and the World Boxing Council. WBC supervisor at ringside, Mario Latraverse. The 3 judges scoring this first bout on the 10-point must system will be Glenn Hirsch, John Keane, and Omar Mintoum. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, Frank Garza. And now from the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, Michigan, ladies and gentlemen, 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Junior Featherweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black, trimmed with silver and purple. He weighs 121 1/4 pounds. His professional record, 23 victories with 14 by knockout and only 2 losses. From Belfast, Northern Ireland, ladies and gentlemen, here is the challenger, the former bantamweight champion of the world, the pocket rocket, Wayne McCullough. And across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, weighing in at 121 3/4 pounds, wearing white trimmed with black, with a perfect professional record of 34 bouts, 34 victories, including 28 knockouts, and he is recognized as, pound for pound, one of the best in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros de Tijuana, Mexico, presenting the reigning and defending undefeated WBC Junior Featherweight Champion of the World, El Terrible Eric Morales.
Bueno, ya hablé antes con ustedes. ¿Tienes preguntas?
No, ninguna.
Okay, I already spoke to you guys in the back. Do you have any questions?
No questions.
Eric, golpes abajo de aquí son golpes malos. Y para ti, anything on his trunks or below, I'm going to consider a low blow. Here, I'm going to consider any low blows if he goes on your trunks too, okay? Dar la mano, buena suerte, y que gane el mejor. Good luck.
Eric Morales is bidding to succeed Julio Cesar Chavez in the hearts of his countrymen who are boxing mad as their top representative in this game.
McCullough comes out throwing leather. Remember, his plan expressed to us to throw more than 100 punches around. Told Larry that in a recent fight he threw as many as 150 per round. But he wasn't able to be that active against Prince Naseem last October. And you wonder if he can continue to fire away that often against Morales if Morales starts to get to him. Morales usually gets a good look at his opponent in the first round before he begins to open up.
What McCullough's got to do is make Morales open up real soon, take his best shots, and then make him box. He hates boxing, Morales does. Once he's got over his big punches, if he hasn't knocked you down, he just doesn't know what to do.
Of course, McCullough last October fought Naseem Hamed at 126 pounds. He comes back down to something closer to his natural weight at 122 to fight Morales. We asked him if he was worried about Morales' knockout punching power. He said, hey, nobody hits harder than Naz, and I went 12 rounds with him at a higher weight class. So why should I worry about Morales?
The thing about Morales, he's a finisher. He hurts you, then he tries to finish you. Naz will get you with one shot. If it doesn't finish you, he will let you recover.
Morales is a finisher.
He's a finisher.
And Morales has landed a hard right cross and a left hook to the body. McCullough coming back with a lot of activity of his own.
And when you find a fighter like Morales who chooses another glove other than the old standards, that means problems with the hands. Been broken here and there. You land big shots, you always break a knuckle here and there.
Is there any hard puncher, serious knockout puncher in the sport who doesn't have hand problems, George?
No, we all have hand problems if you're going to be a puncher. You got to look out for that. So we look for things like gloves to protect us. So he's probably having some hand problems already in training camp to suggest a different glove already.
The subject will come up later this evening again with Prince Naseem, who's had hand problems of his own, particularly with the left hand. And he says that now that he's being wrapped by Emmanuel Stewart, that will be different.
But you can only use so much gauze in the ring on fight night.
This first round, a perfect microcosm for the scoring challenge that might face the judges here. McCullough landing more, Morales landing harder. They trade leather down the stretch in round one. And a proper return to championship level boxing for the city of Detroit, as the first round of this bout is as entertaining as it gets.
Right there, you take a little of the heart out of Morales. He's been able to hit these hard shots, and this guy McCullough hits him right back. That's what you want to do. Take his heart early and make him do what he doesn't like doing, box. And that's what he's doing already. Footwork and all of that.
How you feel? Good. Okay. Listen right here. I need you to keep them hands up. I don't want you to get in such an exchange so early with him, right? I want to be smart with my jab. Be smart, getting off of it. And you got to keep that left hook going. You got to give him. You can't be on the end of those right here. That's where your danger is when I'm on the end of the punches, okay?
You have to keep your distance. I want you to stay away from him. Just fight him from the outside. You don't have any need to get so close to him. And his chin is up in the air.
Good left-right by Morales, his best combination of that round. McCullough is right back on him.
Seconds out.
And the really interesting thing that happened in the corner was that his father, who is his head trainer, and who himself had once fought over 60 professional fights, has told him to abandon the style that he came in swearing he would do. He's told him to stay away from him and box him and use his reach rather than go toe-to-toe as he wants to.
This is Morales you're talking about.
Yep.
Why the change in strategy, George?
Oh, he cannot stay. This is one guy who's going to take everything he has, and if you're going to, you won't last the whole fight throwing all your big shots now. You got to jab, build up your points, and I'll box this kid. This is what Morales has to do tonight.
So what you're saying is that Wayne McCullough earned a lot of respect from the Morales corner in round one with his ability to take Eric's hard right hands.
And the sad thing about it, Morales got down on the stool and almost laid down. Doesn't look like a fighter who intends to do a whole lot of fighting tonight. He didn't sit down, he just got almost laid backwards.
You think the pace was too much for him in that first round?
Well, he was able to hit this guy McCullough with a hard right hand, and he only hit him back.
Might have expected to do more damage.
You expect a guy to fall on the shot that he hit him with.
Underlining McCullough's point, even though he didn't win but 2 rounds against Naseem Ahmed, he took his heavy shots. And McCullough said, I was a little surprised to hear it, he said, hey, nobody punches like the Prince.
Morales, if he gets himself together and stops crossing that left foot backwards as he back up so he can stay in position, can do some damage.
Morales going against the ropes and allowing McCullough to rake him to the body and head before countering with one hard right hand. And now the uppercut does damage. McCullough wobbled slightly, and now McCullough dances to show Morales that he's okay.
Take his heart. You let a puncher like that hit you with his best and start laughing and jumping, he's not going to have much heart left.
All this and Prince Naseem too. Detroit gets its boxing money worth tonight.
Morales doesn't try to box. He moves around and waits until he can start punching again. When he's not punching, he's not doing anything.
Hard right hand and hard left hand landed by McCullough. Now Morales lands a left hook. And once again, McCullough shakes it off.
McCullough is looking to stay low, do whatever you're going to do, even throw punches from while the guy's higher than you. Get your head down and throw punches upwards.
McCullough has reached the stage of his career where he needs to win a big fight. The loss to Zaragoza, he didn't like the decision in Boston. And the loss to Naseem, one-sided, although Naseem was booed in the late rounds, diminishing the luster of the formerly unbeaten Pocket Rocket. But he could restore a lot of it with an upset win over Morales.
McCullough is smart. He's already been able to get some good body punching in. So as the fight goes on, Morales' power even diminishes.
Okay, my break.
Through 2 rounds, Wayne McCullough holding his own against heavily favored Eric Morales. And meanwhile, Prince Naseem Hamed winks at the camera as Emmanuel Stewart wraps his hands. Remember, the Prince telling us that after major difficulties with his left hand following each of the last 2 fights, it will all be different because of Stewart's unique talent for wrapping hands and protecting them.
Here's the sharpshooting Morales, finally getting McCullough taking a break so that he himself can advance with his punches. As long as McCullough is on top of him, he has to hold back, but here he comes on with a brilliant barrage.
It'll be interesting to see what McCullough has to say after the fight about Morales' punching power. He spent the weeks prior to his fight with Prince Naseem last year denigrating Naseem's power and saying it was a myth. After round 1, he went to his corner and said he hits like a horse.
Not a pony either.
You see, Morales does not intend to throw any uppercuts. That's a sign of, hey, my hands may be hurting. You want to be certain he can land that shot and not hit the elbows and really hurt his hands.
He landed 1 big uppercut in round number 2. There, Wayne McCullough gets in an uppercut of his own. McCullough the aggressor. Through the first 2 rounds, Morales landed 9 of 53 jabs, McCullough 9 of 45. McCullough would like to throw more than that.
When you throw that uppercut, you got to make certain that your palms are to the sky. If that thumb is just exposed a little bit, you're going to be sore all night.
Sharp 1-2 combination by McCullough. Morales snipes back with a right hand of his own. Not much body punching since the first round when McCullough was able to put a lot of it in the bank.
The problem for Morales is that McCullough is not throwing hard shots, just 1, 2, 3, 4, tap, 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 tap. So there's no chance of a big exchange with him.
Morales landing a right and a left uppercut in that sequence, beginning to open up a little bit more underneath. Left hook forces McCullough back. Morales goes to the body. McCullough comes with body shots of his own. Yep. Two sharp, aggressive punches. Both men able to take a shot very well. Neither has ever been knocked down. Hard right hand by McCullough. Hard right hand by Morales. McCullough comes back with a right and a left of his own. McCullough pressing to the body.
When you see what Morales just did, that's when you supposedly get your knockdown. He did everything picture perfect. Nothing happened. McCullough just hit him back. Went to the body, doubled up on his punches upstairs, and nothing happened. McCullough just came back.
You get the impression McCullough is strong enough at 122 pounds that this could become a war of attrition. Morales has gotten accustomed for the last several fights to knocking opponents out with relative ease.
Yeah, when he's not punching, he's just trying to find room and win to start punching again. And you can lose fights like that.
Watch your head coming in, Wayne.
racing McCullough across the ring and busting him with a big right hand. McCullough coming right back with a combination of his own.
Wait. I gotta use that powerful jab, but I gotta start being effective. I gotta start listen to this, champ. I gotta be placing that right hand down, okay? I cannot play with him. You see, I cannot pull back with him with my hands down, Wayne. I cannot be off balance with him at all, okay? You listen to me, champ? Okay. I gotta push him back. I gotta hit him with that hard jab, Wayne. I gotta keep that head floating.
Did you see that hand that went to the body? That hand bothered him. It hurt him. He was paralyzed by that right hand in the body. You have to keep dominating below. You have to keep dominating the fight. When you throw that, you have to throw that right hand. And don't hold him. Don't hold him and stay away from the ropes.
Round 4. Round 4.
Box. Through the first 3 rounds, by CompuBox numbers, the two fighters landed an equal number of punches, but McCullough with a 48-38 edge in power shots. There's Morales twice landing his jab.
One of the things about Morales' power shots, though, Jim, is that they're so clean and they're so easy to see that he may get more credit for them. Good right hand by McCullough. He certainly will get credit for that one.
Harold, how'd you score through the first 3?
You know, Jim, in a fight like this, the boxing judges got to use a little bit of common sense and say, who's doing more damage? Because, boy, they're both aggressive, they're both landing good shots. I gave the first round to Wayne McCullough on that aggressiveness because he did more damage, but certainly 2 and 3, Larry was right. You could see the damage Morales is doing with that hard right hand. So Eric Morales 2-1 and 3 punching.
No shoulders, no shoulders.
And as round 4 progresses, you can see Morales digging hard and committing to his power shots as he tries to accumulate damage against McCullough. And McCullough seeming to slow down just a little bit here in the 4th.
Good right hand by McCullough.
Sharp right and left by Morales.
McCullough came right back with a left hook, a right hand. That's what's discouraging. You hit him with a good shot, he's going to hit you back in the end. 1, 2, 3. The 4th punch is always McCullough.
It's a pretty close fight. It's an excellent fight into the 4th, scheduled for 12.
Whoa.
Body shot by Morales.
Right hand to the body. That's something I don't think McCullough's ever had. One shot to the body like that. That may change.
And another hard right hand to the body by Morales, and another right and left to the body. And clearly, Eric Morales has decided in this round to go to the midsection. And now McCullough backs him up with a hard uppercut, and Morales momentarily stunned by that punch.
But when you're hitting the body with those kind of punches that Morales is landing, it's like almost like sticking something in a bull. Though he charges, the bull is getting the worst of it.
Boy, this is some fight, guys. if this was a fight in Las Vegas or in either one of their hometowns, the crowd would be in an absolute uproar.
Imagine if it were in Belfast or Tijuana.
Ooh, that same right hand to the body again. Well, Morales is doing some damage there.
And McCullough comes back with a hard body shot of his own.
Well,
like I said, it's a charging bull, and he's getting the worst of it by throwing punches.
We've known for a long time that McCullough had an iron chin. We're going to find out now whether he has an iron body.
Amen.
Bell.
Huh? Here. You all right? Okay, listen to this right here. Okay, listen. This is right here. Wayne, you gotta be versatile in there, okay? He's pressing you, but you gotta push him with that hard jab, or you gotta move him side to side. A lot of head.
Use your head like that, Wayne. You can step back and punch, okay?
A lot of head movement, Wayne. A lot of head movement. Come in here. Okay, you all right now? Okay, listen to this, champ. I need you to step up and tempo.
You hit him again with that right hand on the body. That's killing him. And when he dances like that, because he's hurt. You're doing real well. Keep working at that body.
Second job.
By CompuBox numbers in round number 4, Eric Morales landed 33 out of 79 punches to 24 out of 72 for McCullough. So for the first time in the fight, Morales threw more punches than McCullough. And the damage he did to the body could be increasingly significant as the fight goes on.
McCullough's got to do something to hurt Morales. Just can't just be on him with one punch after another. At some point, you've got to hurt him.
He's not that kind of a puncher, George. He's a fighter who hurts his opponents by an accumulation of punches, not by a combination.
He's got to change that tonight.
Well, he
got to change. Never too late to change.
Flips Morales on the chin with a right hand. Fires in a couple of left jabs. Morales coasting just a little bit here in the early part of round 5 and measuring his opportunities after a brilliant round 4 assault, particularly to the ribcage. Hard right hand over the top by Morales. Morales doing a little sharpshooting, to use the word Larry used in describing him via punch stat numbers.
But you know, Morales has never had to go through 12 rounds of this kind of toe-to-toe battle. You wonder if he's breathing heavily already. You see his mouth opening. You wonder if in the last third of the fight he will be there.
It's been an easier night for him. He hasn't been hit with hard shots. That's the difference. Whenever he takes a break, McCullough doesn't hurt him.
But he's been hit with more shots than he's accustomed to getting hit with.
That's not going to do it. You've got to hurt him. McCullough's got to just draw back with all your strength and put one in. Otherwise, he rests when he wants to rest and then gets back in when he wants to get back in. Drops his mouth wide open, takes a deep breath, comes right back as though nothing has happened.
Meanwhile, it appears gradually, inexorably, Morales is able to apply more and more punishment to McCullough, both upstairs and downstairs, while clearly taking parts of this round off to rest up after the big 4th round assault. And here comes McCullough trying to touch him, keep his hands on him, and land those punches.
You see, he's tasted, hey, this guy doesn't have any power. I can allow him to hit me.
And fire back with combinations like that. The right hand to the body, digging to the rib cage once again, and Morales says, come to me. I want to punish you some more.
McCullough complained that it was a kidney shot. The referee ignored him.
You know what? It was a hard shot.
Exactly right, George.
Morales is now doing a brilliant job of using his body assault to set up power punches upstairs.
Sometimes you're a sitting duck. You want to be a flying duck.
On Monday, November 1, HBO and Sports of the 20th Century presents Howard Cosell, Telling It Like It Is, a 1-hour documentary exploring the life of the most controversial, most memorable sports broadcaster in television history. It premieres at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern, 10 o'clock Pacific on Monday, November 1. Howard Cosell, Telling It Like It Is.
Okay. He's coming to you throwing one punch and he's tired, Wayne. Wayne, you got to take that jab. You got to start hitting him to the body with good shots. But you got to get that right hand back to him, okay?
Told the red corner that hit
distance.
Right,
you have to keep him away from you. Distance. Get away from the ropes. And keep going to the body. Just keep going. And don't carry this guy. Keep going to the body. Breathe in deep. He can go in this round. He's easy. He's ready to go.
In the last 2 rounds, by CompuBox numbers, Morales has connected at a higher and higher rate and has started to land more and more power shots in round 5, 33 out of 74 to 16 out of 71. Again, Morales throwing and landing more, and with a 25-12 edge in power connects. So gradually the fight is ebbing away from McCullough, at least by CompuBox numbers. But how long can Morales fight at this level without getting tired? McCullough's game is never to tire. Go ahead, George.
McCullough goes to his corner now and even sits up better. So I think as the fight has moved on, he's even gotten stronger.
Well, he's ready to fight 20 rounds if necessary. I mean, that's what Wayne McCullough banks on, is his ability to keep lasting. Yes, I know you know Morales is getting stronger, is what you think, huh?
Yeah, he's getting stronger. If only McCullough would just draw back like a baseball player, just throw one in there. Break the rules. Make this guy hurt, go back to his corner, hurt once or twice.
1-2 to the body by McCullough. Morales smiling slightly and then coming over the top with that hard right hand. Morales' most dangerous right hand shot, the one that produces many of the knockouts, is a kind of chopping overhand right, and it's hard to block.
Yeah, he's got range. Real thin. Elbow to his side.
It looks like there's blood. Is it coming from McCullough's left ear? It's hard to say exactly. There's some blood along the left side of his face.
I think it comes from Morales. He's bleeding a little bit around the nose.
No, it's from around his sideburns. I don't know how you get cut on your sideburns.
That was a good 1-2 rip to the body by McCullough back there a couple of sequences ago. Impossible for me to figure out the source of the blood.
One thing about it, fighters are warned not to shave too close to a boxing match. Sometimes you can rub that and then a guy jabs you and that brings problems.
That's a new one, George. I never heard that.
Yeah.
Don't shave too close before a boxing match.
No, you stay away from him. Joe Frazier was real smart about that. He'd have this beard, so it'd just be right.
Okay, my break. Step back. Okay, opposite. My break.
All those body shots that Morales are landing whenever he feels like it.
A champion like Morales has to be ready for an opponent to come at him at 110% and then fend him off and then dominate him. And right now it looks as though that was Morales was ready for and is doing.
Morales with his slowest round in quite a while, round 6, seemingly backing off a little in the last minute of the round, but he punctuated it with a hard right hand.
Look at this right here, Wayne. Coming up here. I got to win every one of these rounds, Wayne. I got to win every one of these rounds, Wayne. I got to push this man back with a jab. I got to control him. And I got to come out when he gets started, jump out on him, and get back and start him over and get back in there again, okay? But Wayne, I cannot let him go right hand with free will without him paying for it, okay? You allowing him to throw a right hand. He's walking to you, throwing a right hand, throwing an uppercut. You got to meet him with shot. You got to meet him with short hooks, Wayne. He's throwing an uppercut.
You gave him this last round. You gave him. You have to round per round. You have to win by points too. But you have to win. He's winning. That last round, he beat you to the punch.
We're in round 7. Box.
Wayne McCullough runs out of his corner after 6 rounds of that.
Whoa, he hurt
right hand.
The first time McCullough got in a shot that hurt. You got to get in a few of those.
Harold, how do you have it through 6?
Jim, 5 rounds to 1, 59-55. Eric Morales based on those vicious right hands. But Jim, watch very closely. Frank Garza mentioned to the supervisor that Wayne McCullough does use his head when he comes in, just like he did there.
I have the same score.
Morales slipping. In round 6, Morales slowed down to only 58 punches after throwing 75 or so in each of the 2 preceding rounds. But he still landed 21 of them to land at a much higher rate than McCullough. Nevertheless, you heard Morales' father telling him in the corner, you gave that round away. Hard right hand lands for Morales. McCullough momentarily stunned. Wayne sticks it back in there and comes fighting right back.
When you're a big puncher like Morales, you throw it in a couple of those right hands, it takes all of your oxygen. A guy can jump right back on you and get you down.
You know what, Larry? I think you're right. I think there's a cut in the left sideburn of Wayne McCullough. I'm not sure I've ever seen that before.
Maybe it has something to do with those gloves that Morales imported from Japan.
Series of body shots from McCullough. Morales stands there and takes them and comes back with a vicious right hand. McCullough trying to play a little possum. Didn't fool Eric. Eric lands a counter right. McCullough keeps throwing and throwing. Another counter left hand for Morales. And what a display of chinmanship. What a beard for McCullough. He took 2 more big shots from Morales of the kind that might have anesthetized some other opponents.
That's what I said earlier. You got to take Morales hard by taking the best shots early on so he can try to box, which he doesn't want to do. McCullough could just pick up the pace. He can win every round from this point on if he just pick up the pace and stop backing up. McCullough.
We've seen Morales a number of times. Although he seems to be winning this fight by a wide margin, it also looks like the hardest fight we've seen him in.
Well, it's definitely harder than... Go ahead.
Whenever he's gotten into the ring with a guy that can take a punch, Morales fades. Doesn't pull back, doesn't hold, try to win a decision. He just waits for punches, hurts his hands, and sit there.
Coming up later on this edition of World Championship Boxing, a live interview with Evander Holyfield in Atlanta, Lennox Lewis in the Pocono Mountains in Pennsylvania, both of them in training for their second meeting. Coming up live November 13 on pay-per-view from Las Vegas, and we'll be chatting with Evander and Lennox later on this evening.
Pretty good, pretty good.
Okay, baby, listen to me, Wayne. Come on, Wayne. Suck it up, Wayne. You gotta find it somewhere, baby. Come on, Wayne. Wayne. Listen to this, baby. Pain is temporary, glory is forever, baby. Okay? Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, come on, pick it up, champ. Pick it up. You gotta, but you can't drop your hands, but you can't let him go right here.
Here we'll see Morales landing his Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday punch. McCullough comes right back at him.
We're in the 8th round.
In round 7, Morales once again boosted his punch count up to the 70s. 77 punches thrown by Morales. He landed 31 of them, a lot of hard right-hand shots in there. McCullough 21 out of 83. McCullough's trainer, Kenny Kroom, making it clear to his fighter that he wants him to win the rest of the rounds. Pain is temporary.
There you go.
Glory is forever.
Yeah, you got to always convince your fighter, look, some pain here, but look, you're going to feel better if you really get out there and take that pain, because tomorrow you can live with the pain, but you will not be able to live with not giving it your all. There are the uppercuts Morales are throwing that he should have been doing all along. He stopped.
Two well-balanced fighters, always in position to throw punches. Two guys who go to the body and the head. Two guys who throw with both hands.
McCullough is doing everything right, but he's not getting into hard shots.
Okay, my break.
Well, the basic difference in the fight, as articulated by Harold Letterman when he was giving you his
good right hand.
Morales does more damage. McCullough landed that right. Morales comes back with a combination, including a hard right hand shot of his own. Morales paused momentarily there to blow his nose, George. Not a good idea.
No, that's when the swelling entered into the scene.
So we'll look for swelling on the right side of Morales' face.
At this point, Morales is only defending himself.
Right and left by Morales there. And the swelling begins under the right eye of Eric Morales. McCullough attacking and putting his hands on Morales' head. Not a lot of power in those punches, but they're landing.
McCullough is tough.
He's almost too tough, George. You wonder how much longer he can go on in his career taking beatings from the better fighters.
Meanwhile, Eric Morales Morales is finding out the same thing that Prince Naseem Hamed found out about McCullough last Halloween. You can hit him, but you can't floor him.
That ring has to go to McCullough. That round has to.
You have to put a lot more pressure on this guy. We have won 5 rounds, but the last 2 I don't know. These 2 rounds could have been yours as well as could have been his. These are too close. You have to put more pressure. You have to work a lot harder on this. He certainly has using power to go forward. You have to.
You got to, Wayne, the later the fight to get it, the more the professional I got to become, okay? I got to pick my hands up, and I got to get in his face with that short jab, pushing him with that jab, okay? Don't let him leave you, baby. Cut him off, read him, cut him off. Second down. It's your life, brother. Come on, everything you got.
Ninth round. Wife of Wayne McCullough, Cheryl McCullough, co-manager, along with a gentleman named Stuart Campbell. Wayne McCullough met Cheryl McCullough years ago in Ireland when she approached him and asked for an autograph. And he politely asked her mother, does she have a boyfriend? And the mother said, no, she's totally available. It was Wayne and Cheryl from that point forward.
Oh, Morales is up, loading up with the power now.
Break. There you go. We're into the 9th of a scheduled 12, and they've connected enough for 2 fights. Some of the slow paces we've seen recently.
Break. Go back. Let's keep it clean.
You're looking for a late round knockout. You might remember that Eric Morales won the 122-pound title he holds by knocking out Daniel Zaragoza in the 11th round in El Paso.
He's been able to land such good body punches early on, Morales has, that he can get a knockout. If he wasn't fighting Superman.
Or Super Chin, anyway.
Super Chin. Super body now, we know, too.
But while taking a lot of punches is a good way to prove your manhood, doesn't usually win fights. Now Morales sizing McCullough up in the corner, loading shots and looking to land a big 1-2. Might have done better.
Had that big punch. If only McCullough had that big punch.
He doesn't, George. Morales might have done better when he had McCullough cornered in the far corner there to go to the body and try to set something up. His body punches did as much damage as his headshots did earlier in the fight.
But he's practically abandoned throwing body punches the last few rounds, Jim. You're right. And if he wanted to break McCullough down, that was the way to do it.
Yeah, but you throw so many body punches and you start hitting around the ribs, and it's you who are being hurt by your hands start hurting.
You think it's harder on your hands to hit a guy in the
a lot
body?
of times you hit the front of your forearm and your elbows. It turns into a mess after a while. The pain, you start getting it also.
One big difference between Prince Naseem's performance last year against McCullough and what Morales is doing tonight. Naz didn't want to absorb nearly so much of McCullough's contact as Morales is willing to take.
You know, and as clearly as Morales is outclassing McCullough now, if you look closely at him, he's taking some punishment as well.
Yeah.
Both of his eyes are swollen.
You might want to credit Naseem's intelligence for having chosen to do what he did.
Thank you.
Still to come tonight, Cesar Soto of Mexico against Prince Naseem Hamed. Soto, who lifted a 126-pound world title from Luisito Espinoza earlier this year, looking to solidify his identity as the best of the featherweights with a victory tonight against the unofficial king of the division. I say unofficial because Prince Naseem holds an off-brand belt. It's done nothing to diminish his notoriety in the sport.
Come on, Wayne. Wayne, Wayne, come on, baby. Come on. You the world champion. Come on. What you love to do. Wayne, he's ready to lay down. What you love to do. If you stay there, Wayne, he's ready to lay down.
Yes.
Statistically, round 9 was Eric Morales' best round as he landed 40 out of 81 punches by CompuBox estimation. That's 49%. McCullough 15 out of 80 for 19%. Morales tripling McCullough in power shots. Wayne has slowed just a tiny bit.
As this goes on, I find myself wondering, what does it tell us about a Morales proposed fight? A bigger fight for him than Hamed, with Marco Antonio Barrera, another action fighter, a stronger action fighter than McCullough.
It would be fascinating to see Marco Antonio Barrera try to break Morales down to the body, and Morales trying to eliminate him with headshots before that could take place. Harold, how do you have this one through 9?
Jim, 89-82, 8 rounds to 1. Eric Morales. Jim, I just can't score against that big right hand of Eric Morales. He's winning it on clean punching. Somebody mentioned the swelling under Morales' eyes. That's being caused by Wayne McCullough using that head when he comes in.
Well, I think some punches have something to do with it as well, Harold. I haven't seen that many head clashes here. Nobody's complained of it. And it's a fight. Stuff happens.
Morales landing a big right hand and trying to follow up. McCullough shrugging as if to say, don't you know by now I can take that punch? Aren't you aware by now that I can handle your leather?
Why sometimes you get into a gym with a guy like this who's not a noted puncher like McCullough, you break the rules. You show them how to reach back, swing with all your body. If you miss, fall down. You have to teach them how to break the rules in order to get in some power.
Blood dripping from the nose of McCullough now. McCullough plants a straight right on the face of Morales, and Morales comes back with a vicious straight right and a left uppercut. Morales is one of those fighters who's willing to take your shot, but he wants to come back and get you too.
Good left hook by McCullough this time.
Yep.
Another good left hook. He set up the right hand afterwards and just missed by inches.
Blood.
Got it that time.
A little bit of a lively comeback here from McCullough in the 10th.
Blood from McCullough's nose.
Woo! Good body punching by McCullough.
Another excellent body shot by McCullough. Morales moving away, but not moving far enough away. And the pocket rocket did a lot of damage in that last minute of the 10th round.
He's ready for you, Wayne. He's ready for you, but you got to be willing to give me. You got to be willing to give me. Come on, 9 minutes, baby. Come on, Wayne. You got to be with him. Come on, Wayne. Get us, check his nose. Check his nose. Come on, Wayne. Wayne. He's ready for you, Wayne. Wayne. Dig down into yourself.
Still, just 1 second.
Wayne, this man can't fight going backwards. We let him come forward all night. We knew that was a tough fight right there. You got to push him backwards. You got to push him backwards, okay?
You're hurting this guy, but you have to keep pressure. Keep moving. Stay away from the ropes. You have to ensure you get the championship. You're the champ. You already hurt his nose. His nose is bleeding. You work real well, but you're not working your uppercuts. He can't breathe.
The 1 set. Round 11. Bucks.
6 minutes to go. A lot of swelling under the right eye of Morales. He continues to load right-hand shots, trying to put away Wayne McCullough once and for all. McCullough still bouncing on the balls of his feet, coming forward and looking for opportunities to throw punches and bunches.
Even the best fighters find out that there are some opponents who just won't go.
Right hand to the face. 2 shots to the body by McCullough. McCullough has so much energy. And Morales stops him in his tracks with a hard right, comes back with a left uppercut. McCullough trying to dig to the body, Morales backing him out of there with uppercuts.
Yeah, Morales' corner told him to go forward, stay on this guy, and that's something Morales doesn't want to do. Runs out of gas.
Meanwhile, Kenny Kroon told McCullough to back Morales up. So you've got 2 locomotives meeting in the center of the ring, and neither man wants to give any quarter. Another right hand shot by Morales. Time and time again, Morales lands that thundering right, thinks he's got McCullough going, and then comes forward to find punches coming back.
Well, if you look in the dictionary under the words tough Irishman, it will show a picture of Wayne McCullough.
No question.
McCullough is tough. Look, he's landing shots. Only just reach back. Pick it up from the ground.
George, I think you're going to have to go in there and help him, because it ain't going to happen otherwise.
Oh, what a brilliant combination by Morales. Morales finding a moment when McCullough wasn't throwing anything. He landed about 5 shots in a row with both hands. This is rapidly becoming another big round for the Mexican star. Left lands underneath. McCullough comes back firing. What a show of courage by the Pocket Rocket. McCullough rallying and stopping Morales' momentum. Morales crunching a left hook to the jaw and saying, come on back. I'm dying to knock you out. Blood over the left eye now of Wayne McCullough. Blood coming from his nose. The sweet science.
Just breathe in, breathe in. Don't give him water. Breathe in. This is it. The next this round. This is ours. Now is when you have to demonstrate you're the champ. Now. This is the time to do it.
Ese es el último asalto y va a dar las manos.
Now is when you have to demonstrate who you are.
We knew that's what was coming with anyway.
Make sure we get that clean.
This round, this is all you got this round, baby.
That's right. In round 11, by CompuBox numbers, they threw 202 total punches. 102 by Morales, 100 by McCullough. I'd have bought a ticket to see this.
Well, we've given McCullough all the credit that he should get and deserves. Let's give it to Morales, because he's not content to sit on a lead. He's still fighting to try to
These
get
are
a
2
knockout.
tough guys. Look at this. Morales so wants a knockout, and McCullough is so anxious to show him that he can keep on coming. Woo! Oh, boy! Science goes out the window, but it sure is sweet.
If you had a neighbor like McCullough, you could leave your doors unlocked.
In Ireland?
Anywhere.
The only science here is Heisenberg's law, that there is no logic to all of this stuff. Human beings are not meant to do this to each other, but they are.
Now, chaos theory is rapidly taking over. Uppercut, right cross. McCullough coming back with body shots. Morales sensing an opportunity.
He's got him rolling punches.
You talk about
Morales
mutual
is
respect.
rolling punches.
Yep.
Ooh, another right hand by McCullough.
When this bell sounds, George, they will be offering each other that unique embrace that goes with knowing they have shared an experience other human beings can faintly recognize and never identify with. This is private.
You really got to love the sport to give that much of yourself.
It is the secret mutual exchange of real fighters.
Endurance.
Kind of thing you might have felt at the end of your fight with Ron Lyle, George.
Oh.
Something you'll remember the rest of your life, and painfully so.
And painfully so.
Again, the blood streams down the face of Wayne McCullough. Again, Erik Morales tries to load the last few power punches. And again, McCullough tries to answer those power punches with a fusillade of his own constant barrage of blows.
Boy, I know how you feel when you say, I've done everything I could do. This guy's still coming after me. Then you go home and ask yourself, do you still want to be a boxer?
It's almost incomprehensible what these two gallant fighters have done to each other tonight. But it's comprehensible to this crowd.
Stand and cheer, everybody. Stand and cheer. You don't see many like that.
Boxing has come back to Detroit the way it ought to be.
Ireland has come to Detroit.
What a display of committed punching by two durable, tough, dedicated boxers. 170 punches in the 12th round, 90 of them thrown by Morales.
Here he is, McCullough, coming through the pain to land a left and a solid right. Morales comes through whatever he has absorbed to do his stuff. Wow.
You just don't see a lot of those.
It's like a beauty contest. What do you expect from a fight? It was beautiful what each guy did.
Harold Letterman, how do you have it at the end?
Jim, incredible. 118, 110, 10 rounds to 2. Erik Morales, you can't take it away from him. As gutty as Wayne McCullough is, Erik Morales just landed those great right hands, dominated the fight, Jim.
I had it 9 rounds to 3.
And George, I know your sense might be that it's a little closer than that.
Yeah, it's a little closer than that. I mean, like I said, a beauty contest. It was beautiful what each guy did.
Let's go to Michael Buffer and hear the scores.
Ladies and gentlemen, regardless of the scoring totals, a round of applause for both champion and challenger in this 12-round battle. We go to the Budweiser scorecards. Omar Mintoum scores it 116 to 112. John Keane has it 116 to 112. And Glenn Hirsch scores it 118 to 110 for the winner and still the undefeated WBC Junior Featherweight Champion of the World, de Tijuana, Mexico, el terrible Erik Morales.
So a unanimous decision for Erik Morales in a fight long to be remembered by all those who witnessed it here. Another committed performance by Wayne McCullough, as tough as they come, and ultimately another big win for Morales. Final punch stat numbers in a fight which in dramatic impact dwarfed the battle a year ago between Prince Naseem Hamed and Wayne McCullough, but produces essentially the same result. Morales landing 110 more, throwing 11 less, landing at a 12% higher percentage, and of course, by and large, landing the harder, more devastating shots. It breaks a long knockout string for Morales. First time he's had to go the distance in a championship fight. Well, still to come this evening, the second of our main events. And the man Morales is hunting down, Prince Naseem Hamed, champion at 126 pounds, will be defending his title against Cesar Soto of Mexico, a fellow featherweight king, regarded as potentially the toughest opponent of Naseem Hamed's career to this point. While we wait for that one, let's look ahead to some upcoming sports programs here on HBO.
For boxing, mark these dates on your calendar. November 6, when Hasim Rahman faces fellow heavyweight Oleg Maskaev. This telecast will also include a preview of the upcoming November 13 rematch between Evander Holyfield and Lennox Lewis. Then on November 20, the promising 6'7" heavyweight Michael Grant takes on ever unpredictable Andrew Golota. On Monday, November 1, the debut of Howard Cosell, Telling It Like It Is, a documentary which examines the life of the legendary and controversial sports broadcaster. It premieres at 8 p.m. Eastern, 10 o'clock Pacific. For football, join us for Inside the NFL. It premieres next Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern and Pacific. But beginning Thursday, November 4, will now be seen at 2 new times, 8 p.m. and midnight Eastern and Pacific time.
And we remind you to stick with us because later on this evening we'll be talking live with Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield, getting ready to begin setting up their November 13 rematch in Las Vegas. But now let's get ready to see Prince Naseem Hamed against Cesar Soto of Mexico. And George, a lot of our viewing public may not be that familiar with Soto, despite the fact that he's had more than 60 pro fights. What can he do? What must he do against the Prince?
He's a solid fighter. If he just doesn't take part in all of this festivity here, he can retain his title by just being solid. Whatever Naseem does to him, counter it with something else as far as punching is concerned. He can take a good shot, he can win.
Soto is known for his left hook. Naz is a southpaw. A lot of experts say it's difficult to make your left hook work against a southpaw. Is that going to be a problem for Soto?
Naz is a little more than a southpaw. He's about everything, north and south, west, east, you name it. He's everything. It's going to be a difficult night, no doubt about it for Soto.
All right, well, as we get ready to watch Soto take his shot at Prince Naseem, we wait also for Naseem's usual elaborate entrance. Larry, of course, there was such a huge splash when he made his HBO and American debut back in December of 1997 in the fireworks fight with Kevin Kelly in New York. Everybody who saw it remembers it. But since then, relatively lackluster performances, and the bloom is off the rose a little bit for Prince Naseem. Are we learning that as a fighter, at least, he was a bit overrated?
We'll have the definitive answer in an hour or less, Jim. But in fact, nobody is as good as the Prince thinks he is.
Yeah, that's right.
He is. Having said that, whether you like him or not, we have to give him credit for this. As a tiny boy, one of 9 children, the son of Arab immigrants, he imagined somehow that he could become a star, and he has brought it off. And he is a hero to Arabs all over the world. He is their Joe Louis in Joe Louis Arena.
Totally fitting, and of course one of the reasons Naz is here, he's now trained by the illustrious Emanuel Stewart of Detroit. It's a far cry from the days when Prince Naseem basically told his original trainer, Brendan Patty Ingle, how it would be done. That isn't the case anymore.
Historically, world-class fighters have prepared for ring challenges in remote training camps, first popularized in the 30s by Joe Louis. One big exception has been Prince Naseem Hamed. This is the first time in his 7 years of professional boxing he's left his hometown of Sheffield, England, and its unstructured boys' club gym to get ready for a fight. The move spurred by recent lackluster performances.
Yeah, it's totally different to Sheffield. These places up here is just totally way out. It's in the middle of nowhere. Great air, great places to run, good gym. Everything's just wicked.
The downside, the biggest sacrifice, separation from his large, devoted family.
For my beautiful son at 15 months, Sammy, my beautiful wife, Alicia, I'm missing them dearly. I'm missing my parents, my sisters, everybody that I love. I can't go to my sister's wedding. Obviously, it's the biggest day of her life, and I missed it.
Ironically, Naz is surrounded here by lovers celebrating the biggest days of their lives at Pennsylvania's honeymoon paradise, the Pocono Mountains. Most here couldn't care less about the hurt business.
And all these people that love couples walking around, hey, I love you, you love me, and all of this business, you know, jacuzzi, steam room, sauna, swimming pool in your room, and you're like, damn, my wife's not here. Why the hell am I staying in this room? This ain't for me. I left the room, moved to a new room. Nah, I'm in a room, it's still a nice room and everything, but it's just not like the champagne suite. Ain't no sex going on in the champagne suite. That's what's going on. Nothing but pure boxing. Eat, sleep, boxing. That's all I'm doing.
Helping Naz adjust to his 7-week life in exile is fellow Brit Lennox Lewis and the trainer they share.
And Lennox has taken it upon himself to be like his big brother, to guide him and explain to him more about training camp. And that has, I think, been a big factor in having the two of them work so compatible together.
More than anything, it's been a camp of opposites. The yin and yang of size. Speed versus power. Hip-hop versus reggae. Flamboyant and laid back.
I've got Naz and his training team to keep me company in one sense, and we kind of feed off each other.
I've heard there wasn't that much atmosphere in a Lennox Lewis camp before the Prince came on the scene and put some nice atmosphere and some wicked music.
They both seem to give and take, and they balance out each other. That's what I've enjoyed more so in this camp than any other camp I've ever been in, because I've never had two fighters so opposite.
Contrasts aside, both title holders are taking advantage of strategic tips from the other.
Looking good, looking good.
He's a boxer, he's a fighter, he boxes, he's got his own uncanny way of fighting, and you know, anything he can help me with, I'll definitely listen to.
So if you see a movement and I'll go like that, and you're blocking it, just do it a few times, do it a few times.
He said he never even did road work or ran before a fight. Lennox is actually taking him out, teaching him how to run and do road work properly.
Another benefit for Naz comes simply from witnessing the heavyweight champion's workouts.
For me to watch him, yeah, it does really inspire me a little bit, and I can get in training and think, yeah, I have to do my job now, and I have to train so hard. It was beautiful. I love this today. It's very sharp. You've got to be so focused, you've got to be so disciplined, you've got to be strong-minded, and that's what a champion needs.
Beginning with tonight's fight, the Prince of Flash experiments with the boxing benefits of monastic seclusion. Naseem Hamed, unorthodox in so many ways, hopes boxing's deep-rooted training camp tradition leads to a more definitive victory dance.
Back live at the Joe Louis Arena. And we look at the tail of the tape for Prince Naseem Hamed against Cesar Soto. 2-year age difference. Soto 4 inches taller than the Prince. They weighed in at 126. There was controversy tonight. Prince Naseem Hamed at 133. Cesar Soto at 130. 3-inch reach advantage for Soto. At yesterday's weigh-in, which took place considerably more than 24 hours before the start of the fight, there was controversy. Nobody knew which was supposed to be the official scale of two which were there, and Prince Naseem felt that Soto did not legitimately make weight. Then he told the press what he thought about it.
He can't make the weight. And when you can't make the weight, what happens? You weak. Get knocked out. What happens? When you're weak, you get knocked out.
This is Hamed at his Ali-like best, intuiting immediately an opportunity to hype the fight.
Punch that numbers, Larry.
All right, we see the numbers are relatively close. Hamed is the bigger puncher. Jab-wise, Soto throws a lot of jabs, but his big punch is the left hook. He throws his left 75% or more of the time.
And rules of the bout with Harold Letterman.
Jim, in the main event tonight, the hand grabs were a huge issue because of Hamed's recent problems. The commission will allow extra gauze above the traditional 10 yards they normally use. No tape can be used on the knuckles. And of course, Soto's camp is going to be in Hamed's dressing room to make sure everything goes okay. Jim.
And there's a look at Cesar Soto. 53 wins, 7 losses, 2 draws, living in Juarez, Mexico now, originally from Durango, which is the original hometown of Oscar De La Hoya's dad and also of former welterweight contender Jose Luis Lopez. Durango has a big boxing tradition, and now Soto is trying to extend that tradition to Juarez.
You know, from the promotion of this fight, you would think that Naz was coming in here to fight his shadow. This is his shadow, and he is no shadow.
He lifted the title back from Luisito Espinoza. A few years ago, he lost to Espinoza in Espinoza's native Philippines. Then he fought him again this past June and took the title with a unanimous decision victory. So he's 1-1 in title fights, is the left-hooking Cesar Soto. And now here comes the by now traditional, elaborate, theatrical, maybe over-theatrical entrance of Prince Naseem.
This is the rock opera before the sock opera.
TV. Keep your hands up. Put your hands up. Come on. Keep your hands up. Way back. Put your hands up. Keep your hands up.
I guess you can get away with this stuff if you can punch like Ahmed.
So I pray I don't miss my flight. Switch tonight. Get out the plane and go look strange. Feel man strange. Hold up my name. Get my thing to head down.
Hey, you hot.
Look bright, look fast, look light, look bright. Look great, look mean, don't look nice. They try to tell me honey don't look right, so I approach her, had all the culture, but there was kids running up with posters, and I was trying to do
The British love eccentrics, and they sure have produced one.
I'll be right back. In fact, I'm gonna be here talking to love, sitting around the world. Been so many places, hit so many girls, and spent so many faces. And every girl in the world know faces. But right now, that's what I'm not faces. Let's be real. I know you got bills, so I'll be on my night like the name of the I rap at Starbucks, I'm that star. You get the star stuck. You ain't my kid, you bought some hard luck. I'm that kid, cats can't wait to start. I'm showing you
Naseem Hamed finally enters the ring with a record of 32 wins, no losses, no draws, 29 KOs, 12 knockouts in title fight. The only fighter who was able to go the distance against Naz in a title fight is the guy you saw go the distance with Eric Morales a few moments ago, Wayne McCullough of Ireland. While you're watching this upcoming bout, you can also log on to www.hbo.com/boxing to chat and score each round of tonight's action. While you're logged onto our website, we welcome you to voice your opinion on the poll question for the evening. Does it matter to you, one way or another, that Prince Naseem Hamed does not hold one of the 3 most recognized championship belts? Does it diminish him that he holds an off-brand belt? Respond yes or no, and we'll provide you with results later in this telecast. And now let's go up to ring announcer Michael Buffer to kick it off.
Cedric Kushner Promotions and Prince Promotions Incorporated. Assalamu alaikum. Along with your undisputed, undefeated king of beers, Budweiser, proud to be your bud, in association with Top Rank Incorporated, present Champion versus Champion. 12 rounds of boxing for the Featherweight Championship of the World. Sanctioned by the State of Michigan Boxing Commission, along with the WBC and the WBO. Michigan Commission Chairman David Sebastian, physicians at ringside, Dr. Ralph Sachs, Dr. Evan Ferris, timekeeper and counting for the knockdowns, Joe Collins and Dale Kalinowski. WBC President Jose Suleiman, WBC Supervisor at ringside Steve Crossan, WBO President Francisco Paco Barparcel, and WBO Supervisor Gordy Volkman. The 3 judges scoring this bout on a 10-point must system will be Dario Chiarini, Mike Liena, and Chuck Hassett. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, Dale Grable. And now for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. From the Joe Louis Arena, Detroit, Michigan. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black with leopard trim. He weighs 126 pounds, and he brings a perfect professional record to the ring consisting of 32 bouts, 32 victories, including 29 by knockout. With 2 world title belts, he is considered by many to be, pound for pound, among the best in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, from Sheffield, England, presenting the reigning and defending undefeated WBO Featherweight Champion of the World, Prince Naseem Hamed. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing red, trimmed with gold letters, and weighing in also at 126 pounds. He has an outstanding professional record in 62 bouts. He has 53 victories, including 39 knockouts, with 7 defeats and 2 draws. Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros de Juarez, Mexico, presenting the reigning and defending WBC Featherweight Champion of the World, Cesar Cobrita Soto.
You were given your instructions in the dressing room. Listen to my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Good luck to both of you. Touch them up.
When Soto was asked what would happen if the Prince hit him his best shot and Soto didn't blink, he said, "I feel sorry for him." That is the first thing we're looking for tonight. How can he handle the punch?
Meanwhile, a lot of people in the arena feel nothing but love for Prince Naseem. In case you weren't with us at the beginning of the telecast, the estimated Arab and Arab-related population of Greater Detroit is 275,000. The promoters believed that by fight time, it was quite possible more than half the people in the arena would be Arab. We have a startlingly large crowd, seemingly much more than 2/3 full. And no one expected that without an American fighter on the card. But Prince Naseem Hamed has his own unique appeal. And now round one begins.
And what Soto has to do is just be basic. Don't get caught up in the okey-doke trying to outshow this guy. After everything, get back into position. And the Prince has just got to be himself. You want a new trainer to add into your repertoire, but you don't want to drop anything you bring to the table.
Every fighter who faces Naz claims they'll be unruffled by the theatrics and they'll stay within their envelope. Not that easy to do once you are a part of the hoopla that surrounds the bout. You saw Naz come into the ring and go immediately over to Soto and touch gloves with him as if to say, I hope you enjoyed my show.
Soto came out in this fight trying to rough Hamed up as he's doing right now, but Hamed answered with that 5-punch barrage about 20 seconds later, and now Soto has settled down a little bit.
And that's what's frightened me more about Hamed. Has he gone into training camp, lost some of what he brings to the table? Trainers have a way of just putting too much of their stamp into your style. Soto is solid, landing punches, gets back in position, ready to do it again.
Referee Dale Grable was trying to wrestle them apart as Hamed fired an uppercut right between Grable's arms.
Hamed is a counter puncher. He feeds off of what you do. That's what you want to keep him doing. Boy, was power.
Not short, quick counter punches either, but long, looping counter punches thrown from odd angles and delivered with devastating power.
When he's off balance, he's the best there is. You give him some balance and you may have him just average.
Hard left hands by Hamed. And already Soto has that look on his face that seems to say, well, I'd heard he was a hard puncher, but this is something new.
I think right now, really what's bothering Soto is the quickness of the Prince's punches rather than the power as yet. He's just beating him to the punch.
But Prince has that something about him. He does two things to your left and then comes back to the right with a power shot. He hasn't demonstrated that tonight.
Naz
to be two things to the right and then do something left.
Naz working to the body through part of this first round. Does not always deign to throw body punches, but seems to want to say to Soto, okay, I've heard you can punch to the rib cage. Watch this. And now Naz poses for a while before coming back to the corner to talk to Emmanuel Stewart.
Take it down some? Yeah. Okay, you sit down. You're looking great shape. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Sit down, sit down, sit down. Sit down, baby. Sit down. We got that. We got that. What you gotta remember, take it easy. Slow down. Are they supposed to do working your magic here. Just start playing with your jab a little bit. See, you're shooting all of the big shots. As soon as you start, he's going there. He's going there. He's giving you where you don't get much either way. Start playing with him a little bit. You got so much speed. Sooner or later, he's going to shoot one of them slow shots and you're going to catch him with a counter punch. But start getting your range. Just start playing with him. And once you get to studying.
Did you see anything different? You have to take advantage of this guy. When he jumps, go right to the chest.
Two. Go back and one. You heard Emmanuel Stewart advising the Prince to be calm. Let Soto throw punches and leave himself open for one of your quicker counter punches.
And he said play with him. So I would like to applaud Emmanuel Stewart for putting that into it. Play with him. That's what he needs to hear. I didn't think Emmanuel would do that.
Well, Emmanuel says he's not trying to remake the Prince, simply hoping for some refinements in what he does. Noteworthily, Stewart says, I'd like to get him to at least pay a little attention to defending himself and not be so easy to hit.
Soto has now been warned twice once for leading with his head and once for a rabbit punch.
Naz waiting for Soto to come in and firing the left uppercut. Soto trying to stay within a tight envelope and set up his left hook. Oh, and just missed with a big left hook there.
Oh, it didn't miss. It hurt him.
It flipped him.
It slapped him real good.
Listen, when I say break, break.
Okay. The Prince tries to use his dexterity and quickness to lean away from his opponents, and sometimes he gets clipped like that.
Soto just has to remain solid. Keep your left foot in front of you. Jab with your left. Throw your right in a straight fashion. If he does that, things can happen good for Soto.
House is heavily for Hamed, but there are some Soto rooters here too. And you'll hear them whenever the Mexican star produces a rally.
Hamed has not been able to get into his rhythm tonight. He's trying so hard to be the aggressor.
The shots. Break! Shots up.
Now we got a rhythm going by Hamed.
Hard left hook by Soto. And you saw the typically off-balance Hamed moved to the side by that punch. Now Prince Naseem comes back with an uppercut of his own. Soto trying to measure, get inside, and pin his man against the ropes and fire the left hook to the body, as you saw him do twice there. Another left hook lands hard upstairs. Naz grinning, a sure sign that he felt it. So Cesar Soto has settled down in the latter 2 minutes of this round.
Off his feet.
Good body shot by the Prince.
One more time to get a point.
Another warning against Soto, and an indication that the next instance of holding will produce a penalty point. As we go to Soto's corner, where Miguel Diaz speaks Spanish, our interpreter is Hector Garcia. Now Diaz is chasing referee Dale Grable across the ring, trying to say to Grable, it isn't my man who's holding, it's Prince Naseem who's pulling his head into it.
You're doing very well. You're doing very well. When you step on him, you throw that right hand and then the left hand behind it. When you step on him, just do that. Breathe in deep. Breathe in. You're doing real well.
Here's that long left hook that Soto got in position for. Not on the jaw, but an effective punch. It landed behind the point where it might do some serious damage.
Naz was out of his corner for several seconds waiting for Soto. Soto stayed on his stool until the last possible instant, and the referee, Dale Grable, wanted a couple of more seconds to get things set before letting them at each other.
Now the Prince is using his footwork. That's what you want to see. Dancing, moving, counter-punching.
And as the Prince comes forward and engages, Soto tries to get to his body.
Now Soto can have lots of problems with a moving, dynamic Prince. Lots of problems.
Naz landing a soft left. Soto trying to counter with a hard left of his own.
Soto keeps his hands right in front of him. He jabs.
Prince Naseem fans in the crowd chanting Nazi, Nazi, Nazi. Soto lunging as he comes forward. Naz getting a chance, but missing. Crowd gets excited, but no heavy contact there.
So this is what happens when a fighter spends too much time in the gym practicing power. You're born with power. You got to shadow box and make sure you can execute.
As as always, Prince Naseem tempting fate with his hands held down well below his waist, relying on his flashing speed and extraordinary reflexes to stay out of serious danger.
Conversely, Soto is holding his hands unusually high to protect his jaw.
So you have a study in contrasts now, midway through round 3. Soto focusing on staying in his envelope. Naz trying to tempt him out of it.
Naz has got a good rhythm now. He goes left, left, and then right, 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 and then left.
Soto not as busy in this round, and it's given Prince Naseem a chance to get off.
I got a feeling the referee is really going to change the course of this boxing match.
I kind of feel like he wants too much of this boxing.
Yeah, I mean, you really want to stay out of the fight as much as you can. Tell him to break.
First one that takes a punches on break is going to get a point off. Now box.
Yeah, he's got too much referee tonight.
Yeah, and he's offering instructions in English, which Cesar Soto might not understand.
I never thought about that.
He's warning both fighters not to punch off the break and saying that the next fighter who throws a punch off the break is going to be penalized. But I'm not sure Soto knows what he said.
Not only that, he's been warning too much. You can only do so many warnings.
Off his head, off his head.
Big left hook lands upstairs for Soto. Naz comes back with a right left of his own.
To him now, you're making him get a hard.
Here we see Soto pressing Naz head into his chin and neck.
Now you got to be stretching and doing it steadily. Keep working at it. You're falling apart mentally because the man cannot think this, but you're doing too many things to him. He used to keep him straight, and every time he punches, let him miss completely. And keep turning, y'all. You're bringing him down systematically. Fighting a good fight. That was the best round. And I always know where he is. You know where you're at. When you're there, when you can do what you want to do.
I think it's not important.
Why don't you talk to him? When you're inside, take advantage of it. When he's grabbing, take advantage of it.
Stay back, Naz. Stay back. Stays down, coach.
CompuBox numbers in round 3. A very Prince Hamed-like round. Naseem throwing 43 punches and landing 14. That's about what he likes to do. Cesar Soto, 10 out of 44. Harold, how do you have it through 3?
Get off his head, off his head.
2 rounds to 1. Prince Naseem Hamed. Certainly Cesar Soto won that second round. He landed some great shots. I don't think Dale Grable is over refereeing. It's a very rough fight.
Punching.
He's trying to stop this from the beginning. In other words, straighten out all the violations early.
Don't push him off, Naz.
Yeah, but he's got at least 2 warnings to keep track of at this point.
Yeah, you don't want that much yah-yah in the ring. You really don't. When you can make a good fight a terrible fight. The good referees.
But surely the referee feels like he's doing exactly the opposite. Helping the fight to be better by getting them to fight more cleanly.
Yeah. The good referees, they stay out of it. You stop them from hitting on the break by getting in between the guys.
Soto is like the dog who chases the car and catches it and then doesn't quite know what to do. He catches Naz and he just hugs him or throws some punch that is smothered right away. Like this.
Break! Stop punching!
I like Emmanuel Stewart's instruction. I've never seen a guy that diversified as far as instructions. He comes in and gives this guy the proper instructions he needs.
Well, the only similarity between what Naz does and the traditional Kronk style is that he has his hands low. Soto landing one to the back of Naz's head after a hard right hand drove Prince Naseem back.
This is not a Kronk fighter. This guy is being instructed properly. I'm amazed.
And
play with him. You never hear Emmanuel Stewart say things
Emmanuel's
like that.
showing his flexibility as a trainer in this day and age.
You got to applaud that. You got
Lennox Lewis is a whole different trip than Prince Naseem Hamed, and he's training both of them together.
Boy, good body shots.
Break! Break! Stop it.
And now the job gets tougher for Grable.
Point. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Point.
And the penalty is against Prince Naseem.
Point.
So 1 point deducted from Prince Naseem here in the fourth.
I'm telling you, the referee has been doing too much of this stuff.
I don't know who he deducted the point from.
He deducted it from Prince Naseem Hamed. It was clear, Larry, he pointed to the Prince.
Who picked this judge? I mean, this referee.
Michigan State Commission. And quite obviously, they don't have a lot of opportunities to do this kind of thing. This is the first night of championship boxing in Detroit in 12 years. Since 1987, when Tommy Hearns lifted the world light heavyweight crown from Dennis Andries.
And the referee is looking for a disqualification.
Keep boxing him. Keep turning him and angling him and twisting him around, okay? You're doing good, but you're in good shape, but you got to keep angling. Keep him out there twisting and turning. And what you should, you're just missing him with that right uppercut. You want to catch him with it pretty soon. You just miss him with it. Once you catch him with it.
When he stands in front of you, just before he's ready to come in, throw your punch. Just a second before, you're going to catch him.
Holding.
You're doing real well.
Excess from Hamed.
Now we're going to do it now. We eliminated a lot of his
And still to come tonight, a live conversation with Evander Holyfield in Atlanta, Lennox Lewis in the Pocono Mountains in Pennsylvania. Both of them in training for their rematch November 13 in Las Vegas. We'll talk live to both later on this evening. Round 5 begins. Scheduled 12. The dancing ends as Cesar Soto drives Prince Naseem Hamed back into the corner. Action slows. That appears to be somewhat to Soto's advantage as he tries to get opportunities to pound Prince Naseem to the body. Arm punches by Naseem. He hasn't thrown anything with real power on it in a round and a half. And it'll be interesting to see what penalty this draws from referee Dale Grable. He's going to deduct another point, I think, from Prince Naseem. Grable wants Soto's people out of the corner. Second point deducted from Naseem. And if he rules it unsportsmanlike conduct, then the next instance of that could lead to disqualification. Harold Letterman. Is Prince Naseem on the verge of a disqualification here?
You got to wonder. Certainly he's close. I mean, he picked up Soto and body slammed him. If I were Grable, I would have done the same thing, Jim. He had to.
I don't think he had any choice. Had no choice.
I said all along, this referee was not the right guy to be in there messing with these champions.
Yeah, but this is an ugly fight because of the way Soto is fighting with his head down and his hands high, trying to get in close.
He's solid now. He's fighting in a good, solid position.
And because Hamed is left-handed, and so they don't mesh right, and the judge is trying to make some sense of a fight that it may not be possible to make any sense of.
Times like this, you would like the commissioners to get in and have a little powwow with the referee and let him see exactly where he's coming from.
And now Prince Naseem seems to suddenly have decided that he needs to take this into his own hands, and he begins to fire heavy power shots for the first time since the third round. Well, Roy Jones was unbeaten and lost on a disqualification against Montel Griffin. Oscar De La Hoya was unbeaten and lost on a controversial decision against Felix Trinidad. Could Prince Naseem see his record sullied for the first time on a disqualification here? He seems ever dangerously closer to it. As switching feet, trying to land something big out of the blue. Round 5 comes to a close.
Now you're doing it. Now you're doing, you step up, and that's why a fighter pays a trainer. You step in and you step in and do something.
The reference is to Emmanuel Stewart, who has come into the ring to make his presence felt with Dale Grable, and now Miguel Diaz has come in to join the conversation. And the round card girl doesn't have any room to move. Now she manages to slip by and let us know that round 6 is upcoming.
And she doesn't give a damn about any of it.
And that's will not be disqualified.
So many guys, all they do is sit back in the corner and wait for their paychecks. This is what you hire a manager and trainer for, to get in there.
There's the
Don't
body
be afraid
slam
of
in
these
the
referees.
previous round, and obviously deliberate.
And now Naz comes out of his corner to wait for round 6. The crowd gets juiced as they get 2 replay views of the body slam on the overhead jumbotron. And now through 5 by CompuBox numbers, Naseem Hamed has landed 62 out of 212 and Cesar Soto 55 out of 194. And Soto moves ahead on the Letterman card as the result of point deductions against Prince Naseem.
I gave both of those rounds, I called both of those rounds even rounds because I thought that Prince won the rounds. I have it 2 rounds to 1 in favor of Hamed with 2 rounds even.
Meaning your card's different from Harold's.
Never happened before.
Break clean, stay back quick.
And this time Hamed alertly lifting his arm off Soto's neck when he heard referee Dale Grable coming close. Well, fans who wanted to see Naz score an explosive knockout here may be a little befuddled as they watch him staying away from Soto in the 6th. Naz trying to set up a counter shot.
Stop punching, stop punching, right there, stop punching.
Good. Super left hand by the Prince that time. He's finally finding his range with his power. But that Soto maintains solid.
Break! That's a shot.
Strange fight. Strange night now.
Naseem watching with his eyes, looking for something, looking for anything.
Brilliant semi-main, non-stop action between Eric Morales and Wayne McCullum. Now an entirely different kind of fight here. Hamed lands a left hook. And throws Soto to the canvas.
Now wait a minute now. This was a hold on and foul down.
Touch him up.
Grable agrees,
Yeah,
and issues no penalty.
Well, boxing is rough.
Break! One more time.
Soto's head hit the canvas pretty hard, but he does not seem fazed by it.
That Soto is strong. He's solid.
Yeah, he's tough to steal. Soto trying to back his head away from that of Prince Naseem. The danger when their heads come together, of course, Soto's taller by 3 inches. That puts Naz in the butting position.
I'm more afraid of what this referee can do than what these fighters can.
He slowed down. He slowed down good now. You got him tied. He's tired now. He's tired. You're in unbelievable condition. Unbelievable. This time, let's go right-handed for a minute, okay? Let's go right-handed for a minute, okay?
Yeah.
Because he slowed down. What round is? Oh, good. We're okay. It's over the first half. So you just take all the rest of them going down the stretch. He's slowing down, though. He's slowing down in just about.
Throw the shoulders. Do not look for his face anymore. I want you to throw on his shoulders, his chest, and his stomach. Do not throw anything to the face. Try to throw right in the chest. Okay? And keep throwing punches. You're winning. Just keep throwing punches.
Some people have compared Hamed's act to wrestling. Here is another takedown with Soto falling over Hamed's leg.
So that was a pull down in your view,
Yeah,
right,
that was a
George?
pull down.
Off his head.
You know, Soto hasn't shown me much skill. He's tough, he's determined.
He's tough.
But I don't see much skill going on here.
Harold, how do you have it through 6?
Okay, Jim. 3, 2, 1 even. 56 in points. Okay, I got it all even in simple English. Certainly, I gave Cesar Soto round 5. I guess that's where I differ with Larry. So that becomes a 10-8 round because the referee took a point. So 3, 2, 1 even. You know, hardest fight for the judge to score is where you got 2 holders. That's the problem here. The judge is going to have a hard time determining who's landed the better punches.
How close is Naseem to a disqualification,
Okay,
Harold?
now we know for sure. I asked Dale Grable. He said he normally will disqualify a man after he takes the 3rd point, but he emphasized normally as if he wouldn't do it if he does take another point from Ahmed. He emphasized there was only, you know, usually he would disqualify after 3 points taken away.
He has taken 2 away already.
Correct.
He's put himself on the spot.
So just to clarify, Harold, that means there would be no 3rd point deducted. It would simply be a DQ at that point.
Jim, no. He just emphasized that normally. My opinion is that he will take a 3rd point if he has to, and he will not disqualify Prince Naseem Ahmed.
Get off his head. Step back clean.
Now the Prince is stepping in and showing his power.
Break. Watch the floor.
You got to stay close when you want to punch hard.
Off his head.
Don't hold.
Off his head. Break. Stay off his head. Stay off his head.
You heard Emmanuel Stewart telling Prince Naseem that he thought Soto was slowing down.
Stop. Big puncher.
Soto looks pretty much the same to me as he has throughout the bout. He isn't as fast as Naz to begin with. But he's adept at staying within his envelope and fighting the way he wants to fight.
Yeah, you definitely don't see, you never see the featherweights tying one another up as you're seeing tonight. This is odd for that weight division.
But Naseem's unorthodoxy will bring out strange behavior in most of his fights.
Yeah, and he's jumping his punches in, which is, he doesn't have a chance to throw another, so he...
And there's the classic Naseem counter. Soto leaning in to try to land something, and Naz blocking him with a long left. 10 seconds to go in what has not been a particularly busy round 7. Naseem trying to flurry a little bit in the closing seconds. Soto comes back with a 1-2 of his own.
I have no idea what Soto did in that round.
Hey, David! Have somebody clean this corner's language up because they're taunting the other boxer. And that's not allowed.
Keep on making him
Here,
like a wash line.
calling him chicken and all that shit.
Keep making him be like a wash
Quiet
line.
him down.
Throw him back up. You got it. Please.
You have to fight closer to the hand.
Interesting.
Do not give him this.
The referee asking commission members
every time he pulls back, you miss.
to bar Soto's corner from taunting the fighter.
That's the compliment, first compliment I'll have for the referee. He did right that time.
Although he used a little profanity of his own to make the point, George.
Just got to
Small contradiction there.
Well, when you have a fight that isn't appealing to the crowd, sometimes you get a fight in the crowd, and there's a big one going on in the balcony right now.
Couldn't be nearly as good as the great battle between Wayne McCullough and Derek Morales that preceded this one. In that fight, there were more than 200 punches thrown in the 11th round. Round 7 here was a relatively busy one for these two fighters. 51 punches thrown by Prince Naseem, 37 by Soto. That adds to 88. Wayne McCullough throws 88 punches in his sleep in one round. They're not hard punches.
That's why it's good for judges and the referees even to study films prior to a boxing match to know something about the styles of the fighters that you're judging.
Particularly if you're going to referee a Naseem Ahmed match, because there hasn't really been another top fighter quite like him.
And you want to learn something, so a lot of things you consider fouls are just what he does naturally.
Naseem is fighting in a conventional style now instead of left-handed.
Yeah, and that's something Emmanuel Stewart asked him to do. Turn right-handed for a while.
Break, stop punching.
Naseem fights so often with his shoulders square that it's really sort of academic to define him as a southpaw or conventional fighter, either one. He is a two-handed fighter.
Sometimes you want to keep your fighter entertained by telling them to do things. You get bored out there, you're winning whenever you want. Then
That's a push.
I don't know about that. That could have been a foul down. The guy misses and he hits the shoulder of the guy and he falls.
Well, if Soto's goal was to keep from getting hit by Hamed's biggest punches, he has achieved that. If his goal is to win the fight by out-punching him, I'm not sure if he's achieving that.
One more time. The referee has gotten more sensible, by the way. I like that.
What if the goal was to go the distance and see what happens?
Well, I don't know if that's a smart thing to do.
Stop, stop, stop. Fucking head, stop.
Some of Naz's rounds are very tough to score. And now a point deduction against Soto for using his head.
Bucks.
So 2 penalty points have been levied against Naseem Hamed, 1 against Soto.
Break! Stop punching! Stop punching!
An exasperating fight for fans and both fighters.
So you're back in the running. Let's keep this.
Here's some of the roughhousing that has gone on in this fight. Southpaw against a conventional fighter. Getting all tangled up, pushing, shoving. It looks like something that goes on in line play in football. Now here's what the deduction came for as Soto lifted his head into Hamed's jaw.
And hit him low at the same time just for good measure.
6 down.
One thing I always say, at the moment when you're butting the other guy, the referee will be watching that. That's a good time to get away with a low blow.
Barry Sanders, the great running back of the Lions who is retired, is here in the audience. And I imagine that all this is too familiar to him. It's probably why he retired from football.
Great running back formerly of the Lions. And supposedly never again. In round 8, the 2 fighters combined to throw 72 punches, but they only landed 10. Two fighters are averaging about 10 connects apiece per round.
Now the referee is refereeing. Step in and you make them stop. Don't take points away because you can't stop it.
There's blood coming from the face of Soto. I can't be sure where. It may just be his nose.
Soto told us yesterday he's never been cut. I think the blood's coming straight out of the nostrils.
Break!
Product of one of Naz's punches to the nose.
Let go, man. Let go, man.
Naz to the nose.
Break! Stop!
Now the blood flowing pretty freely out of Cesar Soto's nose. And Naz begins to pot shot him.
Break! Stop fighting! Stop!
That poor referee. He's gonna have to lift weights.
Yeah, this is the Gone with the Wind of refereeing jobs.
1-2 for Hamed. Soto pummeling him to the body as the Prince comes in. You heard Emmanuel Stewart talking about what sensational shape Hamed is in. And the Prince does indeed seem to have a lot left physically midway through the 9th.
Arthur McCanty, the veteran official from New York who has refereed more than 100 championship fights, originally was supposed to referee this fight, but the Michigan Commission decided to put one of its own in there.
Clean up.
So far, there's no reason to believe that Prince Naseem is bothered by any damage to his left hand. He had hurt his left hand in each of the last 2 fights against McCullough and against Paul Ingle. He said it swelled up like a cantaloupe after his fight against Ingle. But he's still throwing hard left hands here tonight. So it would appear that that's not a problem for him.
He's gotten everything under control now.
Yeah.
Just looking for a knockout.
Pretty soon, Soto's going to have to open up, take his hands down, and start throwing some punches.
Unless he and his trainer Miguel Diaz believe he's winning the fight.
The referee has started to take courage and stay out of the fight. I like it now.
And Prince Naseem using a little showmanship to keep the crowd on his side.
You may have broken his nose.
I know ya.
Huh?
Wipe my nose.
You got blood all over you.
Let me wipe the blood, okay?
No.
Let me do it.
Okay.
Don't give him water. Breathe in. Breathe. You need to breathe. Get that oxygen through. Don't stay behind. Come on. Don't stay behind. You didn't throw any punches this round. You didn't throw one punch. I couldn't reach him. We got to win this fight. Tomorrow's another day.
Naz's father.
Naz says, my heroes have never been boxers. My hero is my father. Sal Hamed, man who took his poor family from Yemen to Sheffield, England, and bravely worked his way out of poverty.
Now, Soto is probably suffering a broken nose, as they mentioned earlier, and the chin. You got to learn how to fight. This is no time to jab and exchange jabs. You got to attack.
Harold Letterman, how do you have it through 9?
Jim, I got it. 6-2, 1 even, 86-82. Prince Naseem Hamed. He's still landing between the punches. One thing, I'll tell you how tough Dale Grable is. His son was the first one to go to distance with Oscar De La Hoya. Went 8 rounds with De La Hoya in Rochester.
That means the dad is tough?
Yes.
Okay. In the last round, Cesar Soto landed only 7 out of 47 punches. And you heard our interpreter, Hector Garcia, interpreting Miguel Diaz between rounds, saying he didn't land a punch that round, and Soto replying, I couldn't find him. Or I think it was I couldn't reach him. But that's a constant problem for opponents against Naseem.
The Prince now is literally looking for a knockout. Keeps his eyes open, waiting for this guy to move his head so he can hit him with the hard shot. He's not setting it up, though. He's looking for it.
Is he safe enough on the scorecards to be looking for a knockout, George?
These are the kind of fighters we want. Continuously seek a knockout. Doesn't matter the scorecard. You can't trust those.
Break.
Don't play it safe.
But it's been such an odd fight and somewhat devoid of clean landed punches. So a knockout looks like a remote possibility.
The Prince is looking for one.
Okay.
He should set it up. Don't just look for it. Set it up. Jab, jab, double jab, things like that.
I didn't think Shane Mosley was going to be able to do enough damage in the 10th round to knock out Wilfredo Rivera a few weeks ago, and he proved me wrong. Maybe Naz can do this.
The Naz came in with a slight uppercut this time. That hurt Soto. He's got him hurt now. He's got to just set it up and look for it.
There are growing choruses of boos, particularly from the upper regions of the arena. But some of them from here at ringside, where people paid $1,000 a ticket. And might not feel as though they're getting $1,000 worth of main event.
Well, the Prince is fighting the world champion this time, WBC. Don't reach out and just get knockouts anymore. He's not fighting a contender, he's fighting a champion.
The Prince trying to body Soto off and land another big punch. 6 minutes to go, and now the boos begin to grow in intensity.
This round. But once he gets into the damn 12th round, it's going to be hard to knock him out.
Relax, Habib. Relax.
You know, you make it and miss by stepping off to the side good, but then after that, go right to him after that. Try to come up through the middle. You understand? Listen very carefully.
Right now, Habib.
Keep working the jab, but when you let him miss.
6 minutes left. How about the bleeding my nose? Don't worry about it. It's over. Breathe in breathe in. Use your nose. You have to throw punches in this round. It's a must.
211 landed punches in the fight through 10 rounds. Both fighters throwing an identical number of punches by CompuBox calculation, 410 punches apiece. They're averaging 41 a round. Naseem lands a hard left hand. Many of the ticket buyers booed in the closing rounds of Prince Naseem's decision victory last Halloween against Wayne McCullough in Newark, New Jersey, and now there are boos again tonight as he seems headed toward a 12-round decision against Cesar Soto. The trouble with knocking out long strings of opponents is you better keep providing knockouts or your fans are disappointed.
Well, the worst thing that can happen to a fighter is indifference. And nobody is indifferent toward the Prince.
Well, in order to get a knockout, you just can't just get in the ring and get a knockout. The other guy has to try to knock you out, and you get him.
Naseem, with his most spirited flurry in a while, lands 2 or 3 big punches. Soto, showing a granite 10, keeps coming and firing his left hook.
Soto is simply not in the league with the Prince skill-wise.
Well, can you imagine the Prince has the WBO title, though. So which belt do you think is by far the better representative of the weight class?
Well,
it's the fighter who makes the belt, not the belt who makes the fighter.
And in the politics of boxing these days, you know, what consistency is there? There are some WBC champions who are terrific and the best in their weight classes, and then there are some who are just fighters.
Well, you don't answer those questions with speeches.
You just answer them with your gloves.
No, you answer them with what you see.
Yeah.
Just say, this is the better fighter and the better belt.
Stop pressure, stop.
Sooner or later, more and more fighters will realize that it is they who matter and not the belts.
You know, Soto is really not covering himself with any glory, not showing any great valor in the way he's going about defending his title. He's not really taking chances. He's got his chin tucked in, his gloves. He's really not winging it when he's clearly behind in this fight.
Guys got to get his breaks. Stay off his feet. Stay off the feet.
But the referee has turned out to be great now. Ooh, another good uppercut. Right uppercut.
I agree with you, George. I had doubts about the referee early on. I think he's done the best he could in a difficult circumstance. Maybe Soto and his corner believe that because of the 2 points deducted from Hamed, this fight is close enough for them to just keep doing what they're doing. There goes another one. That's about the 4th unassisted tackle for Naseem, and he helps Soto up. And makes a show of it.
Let me take a point now.
They ate up about 10 seconds of their 60-second break.
Your round. This is the last round. You're back ahead on points. If you hurt him with the right uppercut, if you can ever get him with that one, you might can take him out. That's the only punch you're going to knock him out with. Trust me. Because everything else, he's got such tight defense.
Stay off the feet. I told him to stay off first. Clean this last round up.
Everything you got. This is the last round. Everything. Last round. Everything you've got. The difference between this, the difference between this guy and you is $1 million.
The right uppercut.
Both of these guys are going to show up in the NFL tackling statistics after this weekend.
Round 11, Prince Naseem had his best round, landing 21 out of 42 punches. Does that mean he won the round on the scorecards?
Well, Prince he really want a knockout, but he's got to catch Soto coming in.
Well, you heard Emmanuel Stewart say only the right uppercut will do it. No other punch will score the knockout except the right uppercut, according to Stewart.
But he has to catch whatever punch it is coming forward. He's reaching out, and the guy has Soto has a good defense. Hands are always in position.
Naz trying to launch him with a left uppercut there.
It seems that Soto is trying harder than anything to protect himself from being knocked out.
So he just wants to go the distance and see what happens.
Yep, he's satisfied with going the distance.
Another tackle for both of them.
Soto was headed down.
Grable's decided nobody's going to be disqualified.
Okay.
They're going to finish one way or the other.
There are all kinds of ways to quit in a fight. In my judgment, Soto has quit on his feet by not making a sincere effort to turn this around in the last couple of rounds.
Solid left hand up the middle by Prince Naseem. Soto reaches and grabs. One thing for sure, Naseem has not come close to running out of gas in the late rounds here, the way he seemed to do part of the time against Paul Ingle and against Wayne McCullough. So maybe he is considerably better conditioned now than in his previous training camp experience.
Off his head. Step back clean, so break.
I hope the $1,000 ticket buyers showed up in time to see Morales against McCullough. If they did, they won't go home all that unhappy.
You don't want to follow a show like the one we had earlier.
Oh, is that a fight?
Break! Break!
There'll be a lot of boos when the bell sounds at the end of round 12.
Break! Stop punching! Come on, come on. Finish up, finish up.
No knockout for Naz.
Break! Stop punching!
No aggressive title defending effort, or so it seems, from Soto. Naz pot-shotting, trying to land a few more power shots in the closing seconds.
It's not going to happen.
And here comes the chorus of boos.
Stop, stop.
Not one for the time capsule.
Cesar Soto jumping up and down and thrusting his arms in the air, trying to portray the body language of a winner. Prince Naseem was chasing him to try to give him a congratulatory glove touch, and Soto just walked away. In the 12th round, Cesar Soto threw 31 punches and landed only 2. Not the way Miguel Diaz wanted him to close the show. Harold Letterman shows you his card.
Okay.
Harold?
Jim, 116, 109, 9-2, 1 even, including the point deductions in rounds 4, 5, and 8. Let me tell you something. You know, Cesar Soto has to learn how to land a clean punch before Prince Naseem Hamed could tie him up. I mean, there's a fine line between holding and tying the guy up. Prince Naseem Hamed would tie him up when he come rushing in. Soto didn't land anything. It was certainly Prince Naseem Hamed. I've got him winning by a big 7 points. 116, 109.
Harold, do we have experienced and qualified judges here tonight?
Absolutely, Jim. Chuck has it. Been judging for a long time. A Hall of Famer, by the way. Chirini, not as long. Mike Liena has been judging forever. So, you know, experienced guys. 2 out of 3 at least.
All right, there were 3 penalty point deductions during the course of the fight. In the 4th round, a point deducted from Prince Naseem Hamed for holding. Then in the 5th round, unsportsmanlike conduct, this one was called, and a point was deducted for that body slam. And then in round 8, partially evening the score, a headbutt by Soto, and a point deducted from the Mexican fighter there. So let's see how all of that affected the official final scorecards.
Looks like we're going to have another one of those decisions that make you want to holler.
Looks like they're taking a little bit longer than usual to tally up the scores and get these numbers sorted out. And there's Naseem up on the shoulders. There's his wife, Alicia Naseem, and let's go to Michael Buffer for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the Budweiser scorecards. The winner will be the unified WBO and WBC champion. Mike Gliena scores it 114 to 110. Chuck Hassett scores it 115 to 110. And Dario Acciarino scores it 116 to 108 for the winner, and still undefeated from Sheffield, England. He is the WBO, WBC featherweight champion of the world, Prince Naseem Hamed.
So Prince Naseem, who was nervous enough, incidentally, to lean over the ropes and glance at our monitors to check out Harold Letterman's scorecard when we were showing that, gets the reassurance he's looking for from the 3 official ringside judges, and now holds 2 featherweight championship belts. One of the governing bodies has indicated that he'll be stripped of their belt if he does not get rid of the other one. So there'll be politics upcoming in the next couple of weeks, and Naseem may have to choose which one of these 2 belts to keep. Final punch stat numbers. And you can see that it was not a thriller. Prince Naseem landing 153 out of 484. Cesar Soto 107 out of 498. And all in all, not a particularly memorable battle, particularly in comparison with the one which preceded it. A brilliant effort by both Wayne McCullough and Eric Morales. For the second time, Prince Naseem goes the distance for a decision in America, but remains unbeaten. And now let's go to Larry Merchant in the ring.
Woo! I'll tell you what, I could have done another 10 rounds. I felt strong, baby. Go!
All right, thank you very much, Jim. Congratulations, Naz. First of all, the question everybody wants to know the answer to, why was this such an ugly fight?
Nah, whoa. I'm not saying it wasn't an ugly fight, because it was a very ugly fight. Can you, easy, baby, easy. I'm coming too close now. The fact of the matter is, this guy made it such an ugly fight. I came to punch. He knew I was a hard worker. He wanted to grab me, put his head in me. He didn't know that I've got a heart of an Arab. A heart of an Arab, a heart of a
Did you
lion.
feel he was trying to rough you up to get you upset into his kind of fight?
I'm just saying, no fighter in the featherweight division is not strong enough to rough me up, but he did. He tried to rough me up. He tried to school me. He tried to bully me, but he couldn't do that because I had him. I broke his nose in one of the shots off the clinches because he tried to knock me in the clinch, butt me in the clinch, hit me with his elbows, everything.
All right, but there were 2 points taken away from you.
Baby, give me some room. Hey, man, I want to breathe. Let me breathe, Larry.
There were 2 points taken away.
Champ.
There were
Warrior.
There were 2 points taken away from you.
I know.
For fouling. Were they deserved?
Being honest with you, I didn't think there was deserved because the guy was using his head all night and the referee didn't. I don't even think give him a warning. Maybe
but you picked him up and slammed him.
You know why?
Why?
Because I needed to show him psychologically my body strength is bigger than his, is harder than his, is stronger than his, and I did that. And it started mentally deteriorating him.
Do you think, did you do that to show you weren't afraid of him and to intimidate him in some way?
Being honest with you, he just tried to rough me up, and no, I just wanted to show him that he wasn't roughing me up. I'm an English Arab. Listen, it was all God's will. Let me speak a bit, Larry. Damn, let me get a word out, my man. You too quick to jump. You're always on my case, dog.
You're jiving me.
All right. Wait up. All I want to say is the whole fight was God's will. Whatever happened, as I always says, happened. But the guy made it a horrible fight.
I can't interview God. I can interview you.
No, you can't. Yeah, you can.
Okay, so what I'm asking you is, were you surprised that in the last 3 rounds, when he was clearly behind, that he didn't really open up and try to change the fight?
No, I did try to open up. The guy,
Him. That he didn't try to get to you at the end of the fight.
No, I think he did, but every time I was getting close and I was letting my shots fly, the guy was just like trying to tangle me up, put his head in. He was trying to stand on my feet all the fight. Watch the tape. But he couldn't do that. I've got a heart of a lion. What are you saying, Will? Did you hear that? Heart of a lion.
Yes. When the fight is over, the crowd boos. You're here to please the crowd.
Yeah,
How do you take that?
Being honest with you, I'm not upset about it. I may be a little bit disappointed at this moment in time, but what the hell? I'm the WBO featherweight champion of the world. Listen, I'm 2 times world champion, and I can honestly tell the viewers, especially on HBO, and everybody who watched the fight, Sky Sports, everybody, it won't be an ugly fight in my next fight, because this guy didn't really, he came to fight, but he came to tangle somebody up, rough somebody up.
Would you want your next fight to be against Eric Morales, who is a completely different kind of fighter and a fighter who is willing to stand and exchange?
Most definitely, maybe, but I'm out there to get all of them now. You see, I beat him, I beat Soto, who beat Espinoza. Espinoza beat Kennedy McKinney. Kennedy McKinney, who did he beat?
And the neck bone is attached to the head bone.
Judy Jones beat Barrera.
Thank you very much, Naz.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
God.
Just as final word, the purpose of a professional prize fighter is to win fights or give entertaining fights and to win fans. Tonight, the Prince won the fight. He didn't win the fans. Jim?
All right, thank you very much. But George, Prince Naseem says he won because he has the heart of a lion. Was that the difference in this kind of a fight?
The Prince definitely has a heart. There was a lot of times out there he was not able to do anything, but he continued trying to take the fight to the guy, throw hard shots. He's a good fighter, and you know what? It's not about winning the fans. You can always have your fans. Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali, but you got to get out there and win fights to stay on top.
George, there are a lot of fans who would say to you, heart is when a fighter goes forward and tries to seize the fight. Heart is when a fighter is the aggressor all the time and tries to show that he has more manhood than his opponent. Heart is not when you dance away from your opponents, dazzle them with speed and skill, and wait for opportunities to throw one power punch at a time. What do you say to that?
I got whipped with a lot of heart when a fella pulled a rope-a-dope on me. He just laid there, and I was the star. I was the dope. You know, it doesn't matter. Heart means just winning the boxing match. Win, win, win.
You're brilliant, George. That was the right answer. All right. We asked you earlier this evening on our website poll question whether it meant something to you that Prince Naseem Hamed had not up to this point held one of the 3 major brand boxing belts. And somewhat to my surprise, a lot of you seem to indicate that you still think alphabet soup matters. 62% saying yes, that the Prince was diminished by the fact that he did not hold a major championship belt as opposed to the off-brand that he held. 38% saying no, and agreeing incidentally with me that it is the fighter that makes the belt and not vice versa. Maybe those 62% are more impressed now since Naz now holds the WBC championship belt. And with the noise still growing at ringside around me, it's time now to bring in live from Atlanta and the Pocono Mountains, respectively, the 2 men who will be facing each other November 13 in Las Vegas in their rematch for the Unified Heavyweight Championship of the World. Evander Holyfield live on the left, Lennox Lewis on the right. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me. Lennox, I'll start with you. What did you think of your stablemate Prince Naseem's performance in this odd and unmemorable boxing match?
You know, he did what he was able to do, given the circumstances. Soto seemed to use his head quite frequently. It seemed like he came from the school of Evander Holyfield, the way how he came in with the head. It just made for an ugly fight, but he did what he had to do. He was counter-punching. Soto didn't really do nothing in the fight, but, you know, Prince slipped nicely. You know, that's where you get the sweet science of the sport. He showed that he could slip and come back with punches.
Lennox, let's go back to what happened in March. Most of the boxing world felt that you had won the match against Evander Holyfield. The decision instead was a draw. You didn't have to go forward toward a rematch. You could have taken the option of saying, hey, wait a minute, you saw the fight, I'm the undisputed heavyweight champion, and gone out and campaigned that way, ignoring Evander for the time being. Why did you choose to come back and accept the rematch with Evander Holyfield?
I realized that I could beat Evander every day of the week. It doesn't matter to me. So I know that I can go in there and beat Evander Holyfield in the second rematch. So it doesn't matter to me. I don't mind boxing him again. I could have boxed him the same week after the fight.
Evander, let me turn to you for a second. Regardless of whether the decision was valid, some boxing fans were disappointed that the fight didn't have fireworks, that it was more a tactical boxing match than the kind of war people hope for in a heavyweight unification bout. Do you feel a responsibility to help see to it that the second time around, this is a more memorable fight?
Well, I truly feel that in the first fight, I fought. And it takes two people to fight. Lennox, the one that chose to move around and hold and grab.
So does that mean, Evander, that the second time around you'll go in and essentially try to do the same thing, only better and more spectacularly than in the first fight?
Well, actually, I would go in and I would, put my best foot forward and throw a lot of punches and hope that Lennox take upon themselves to try to win the fight on his own and not count on the judges.
Evander, you have had a history of coming back with big performances in rematches. It happened against Michael Moore, it happened against Riddick Bowe, it's happened other times in your career. Why have you been able to do that, and what is going to help you to do it this time?
Well, I learned from my mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes, and Lennox fought a good fight, and I watched the fight, and I realized what it takes to be a winner, and I'm willing to come forth and do more than I did last time.
Lennox, your fans were disappointed last time when you appeared to have the advantage and you did not press that advantage and try harder to knock Evander Holyfield out. Are you going to try to knock him out at all costs this time?
This time Evander's going to get knocked out. And I just want to answer his first question. He said I moved around and I held all the time. But if you look at the punch stats, I punched him 3 times as much as he punched, 3 times to 1 that he punched me. So I couldn't have been holding that much.
What's your answer to that, Evander?
Well, anytime a guy as big as Lennox can hit somebody that many times, it don't hurt him. You can tell that he was only sticking his hands out there to keep from getting hit and commit himself.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Lennox, you have a final word on that? One more thing you wanted to say back to him?
I say Evander Holyfield's living in a fantasy world, and he's going to wake up to the fantasy when me and him step into the ring.
It's good to see the big smile on both of your faces. I can't wait to see those smiles again when we get together in Vegas in 3 weeks. Evander Holyfield and Lennox Lewis, 2 gentlemen joining us live tonight. Thank you very much, both of you. And once again, we remind you it will be live via pay-per-view on TVKO November 13 from Las Vegas, Nevada. Once and for all, the heavyweight unification rematch between Evander Holyfield and Lennox Lewis. Well, we're back live in Detroit. We'll have a final word on what happened here in the Joe Louis Arena earlier this evening. Right now, let's look ahead to more upcoming programs right here on HBO.